Good evening, this is Kuro. Got a tier 10 game in my Yu Yang. Wanted to revisit this ship after the nerf and basically go into the nuts and bolts of it. Going over the matchmaking. Actually, not a lot of radar in this battle. We've got a Salem. This is letting me know that I can be playing a little aggressive here. Um, the real threats to me being the double Shimas, uh, the Kaba and the Fletcher. If I get spotted, this Kaba can it can really be an issue. Uh, if uh, if I'm presenting a good profile to that Kaba to farm me. So I spawn on C-Cap, and honestly, C-Cap is kind of a whatever to me.
Action stations.
But I've noticed, more and more random teams seem to be focusing on going to C-Cap. So I'm recognizing that this is kind of a high damage potential game, and it's most likely going to be a delaying battle that I'm going to fight on this cap if the enemy is going here in force. Now my game plan, they've got a Kaba, and really the only thing that a Kaba can do to cap, you're looking at coming into this island here, into this island here, this island here. If if they're not doing that, then, and honestly, I think that a Kaba trying to just rush right into the cap is a bad play, but a lot of them seem to do it. If you notice, I'm sailing over here in between these islands. I'm trying to spot behind this island because I'm expecting a Kaba to rush right up here, and there he is. And I'm just going to call target on him. I want to start turning out just in case this guy is YOLOing in. He may have a heal, I don't. So I do need to respect that, but I'm just going to leave this to my team to shoot this guy, force him off the cap, and, just defend the cap that way. Now that the Kaba's kiting out, just gonna turn back around. I'm in no rush.
Engine boost activated.
I know there's a second destroyer here, just because RPF, the way it's shifted from the Kaba back to C-Cap. Now obviously somebody's back on C-Cap now. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to push in here and just use this island to cover me from a lot of potential fire. And got the enemy Fletcher spotted. And I make a little bit of a misplay here. This, I think that's a Mogami, yeah. He's turning out. I really should be back in here, and I'm over just a little bit too far, and he's got a slight angle on me. And I'm basically going to fix this. It works in my favor because he gets absolutely nuked. But I'm just going to duck right into the island here and break contact right there. And I mean, even though it was a little bit of a misplay, it didn't cost me too much HP. And we chunked down a tier 9 destroyer and obliterated a tier 8 cruiser that, I mean, he doesn't have a heal or anything like that. So it's a good play. Now, I kind of had the feeling that I needed to get away from this island position. I still don't know everybody here. We're massively outnumbered. I don't have a lot of support here. But what's this Fletcher, why he's not smoking up, I don't know. But he's inside of my concealment range, so I'm just going to keep shooting this guy. And if you look, I'm just kiting away. I'm just making myself a hard target for the Kaba, and you know, just everybody back here. Yu Yang's a really hard target to hit. You know, now that I'm a little further out, gonna play a little bit of throttle jockey games, make this guy, you know, miss a bit, and once I'm sure that there's not gonna be any sort of fire chance, go on ahead, repair the engine, and complete my disengagement. And we're able to pick up the Mogami and the Fletcher there for my team. And I think we also got a little bit of spotting damage on the Kaba. Honestly, nothing major. I think that guy's running heel. And, you know, it is what it is. And right there with that engagement, you can kind of tell the difference with the gun nerf, because that second off your reload, I could have saved a lot of HP if I didn't have that DPM loss. I am running main battery mod on the ship. That's mostly because I'm absolutely fucking tired of losing the number 2 torpedo tube on this thing. It seems like almost a quarter of the games I permanently lose a torpedo tube on my Yu Yang, and I have absolutely no reason, no idea why. Now right here, I'm looking, and I'm gonna set something up. If you look at my team, they're stacked in deep here. The enemy team obviously is going to be pushing up and pushing into this gap, and this is a unique opportunity for me to hit angles that my team cannot. And you know, this is me using my team to force these guys into an angle, and then I can just rely on my skill to lead targets to basically torp guys. Now the Kaba's an issue. If this guy starts rushing me fast, you know, he's much faster than me, so trying to get my team to shoot that guy so he'll turn out and get off my ass a little and give me some room to work. I see the Musashi pushing up. These guys are struggling. They need to make an aggressive play here, so I'm expecting these guys are going to start pushing. That's why I'm leading the torpedoes forward. And these are some nice, you know, dual purpose torps where both of these guys are kind of targeted, and gonna get some good chunks on these guys. Unfortunately, not able to get the permanent flood, but I know that this Musashi's damage control is going to be off here shortly, so I'm just going to open water gunboat. I'm just kiting back and just making myself a difficult target. I pick up the double fire. I look to switch targets, and I'm just going to let this guy burn. You know, no sense in... he's dead right now with my fires already. No sense in letting this guy, you know, get a chance to shoot me any more than, you know, he already does.
Victory is in sight. Engine boost deactivated.
Now at this point, obviously this game is a stomp. Um, I don't think they've actually held a capture point all game. Um, but I'm basically just rolling right in, and I'm looking to pick a fight with anything and anyone to try to improve my score. And just gonna throw my torps out. These are kind of low probability torps this far out from a Kurfürst, but as soon as the Kaba ducks behind the island, I'm just gonna start opening up on the Kurfürst, and just trying to get any sort of damage going. You know, really like to see, 100k, something like that with the game. Now here I see the Kabas getting ready to poke around the island, so I just turn back in, and I'm keeping this island in between me and the Kaba and just making it a pain in the ass for him to be able to shoot at me. And the game ends. Ended up with 90k. Honestly, this game's not really anything special. Um, it did still show. I think it showed just kind of how the nerf has affected this destroyer. The torps, I spent a lot. It was definitely noticeable waiting for the torps to come up. The gun DPM. It's you could feel that little bit of lag in the DPM where what would typically be a quicker engagement um, just wasn't. And did it break the ship? I don't think it broke the ship. Um, I think that um, it's still a good destroyer. I don't with smoke I would still consider it a strong destroyer. The radar configuration I would consider it a good destroyer for randoms. Um, I prefer to run the radar on it. Just that's how we typically will run a Yu-Yang, so it's just practice for me for comp. Uh, but it's still Yu-Yang's still a solid destroyer. It's I mean, thinking about it right now, I think all of the tier 10 destroyers are in a pretty good spot at this point. I don't really think that there's any one that sticks out where it's just like this one's trash. Um, there's definitely a lot of interesting destroyers we have out there, and Yu Yang's one of them that you've got that couple different options of how to play it, and it's an interesting boat. And I mean, thinking about Yu Yang with the legendary module where you've got increased gun and torp DPM. You give up a little bit of concealment, but you throw superintendent on this guy, and you've got 4 cracks with your radar to kill any destroyers that would basically try to counter spot you. And in the meantime, you're also able to chuck torps faster, all that kind of thing. It couldn't make that worth the trade. I don't know. I don't have the legendary module yet on the account. Um, but it's something that I think could work at least in randoms. I don't obviously in competitive you still want the concealment. Um, but it's Yu Yang's just got a lot of really interesting angles to different ways that you can play her. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this one off short before I talk about her all night. Hope you guys enjoyed the game. If you have any questions, comments, anything about the build, leave them in the comments below, and I will talk to you later.